All right, ready?
Yeah.
Welcome to What's Here Now, Kid?
Where we take the wise and often wild and wacky wisdom of children and apply it to our overly complicated adult lives. In this episode of What's Here Now, Kid, we talk about the authentic expression of you.
Remy, what do you like about dancing?
I like to dance because it's fun, and I like to express my feelings through dance.
So first, I have to set this up. We're poolside, and she's got on a pair of aviator glasses as the sun sets in Boca Raton.
My gosh.
Right? So I've got a little movie star-esque thing going on here as
Hysterical.
I cut those questions to her.
That's adorable.
Yeah, so bring that up first. And then the wow factor for me, when I get this fairly self-reflective moment out of, I think, an 11-year-old,
Right?
it's like, I said, all right, wow,
Right.
pretty cool.
I mean, express myself.
Yep.
That is...
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I got so many things. Okay. So one, that she knows that at that age, that she's expressing herself. I mean, I guess that's natural, but we forget.
Well, so the amazement is, if it's our agenda, the amazement is that we as adults are forgetting that, right? For her, I'm guessing it's fairly like, hey, I'm expressing myself. Dance is doing that for me. For some other kid, it's running. For some other kid, it's playing golf. I don't know. It's singing or
right.
painting.
Right.
But for us, we're amazed by it because we're not doing it.
Right. We're not even acknowledging that that's what we're doing. And she's doing it because it feels good.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why she's doing it. And she does it more because it kept feeling good.
Yeah, I think because, like anything else, you tend to, as you move through something, you drop out of it because it's no longer satisfying in some way. I'm not getting better, or I'm not feeling good about it, or it doesn't bring me enjoyment. I'm going to move on. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And so in her case, she's been dancing for a while. She digs it.
Right.
So how many things have we given up because we weren't going to be better at it when the actual doing of it might have been more enjoyable?
Yeah. I mean, it goes with so many of our themes, and it's like, oh, I'm just like chomping at the bit with it. Cause it's like, somebody said to me the other day, when we listen to a song, we're not waiting for the end of it. We're not hoping to get to the end faster. That's not the point of listening to a song. You listen to the song,
Mm-hmm.
and often when it's over, you're like, oh man, that was so good. And yet in all these things that we do, there's this end result we want to get to, this accomplishment, this goal, this task. And it's cliche. They say life is about the journey, but that really honed it in for me.
Yeah.
And she's not talking about, because I win dance competitions, that's why I dance.
Never heard any of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the uniform.
She does it because it feels really great to express herself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was fun.
Yeah.
Yep. It was fun. I think about people that I know that do the quote thing for fun that seems like work. Right.
Say more about that.
You and I both are in endurance athletics. We run across a bunch of hammerheads like that.
Yep.
Right. If I'm not suffering through it, it's somehow not a great experience.
I'm not learning enough. I'm not growing enough. There's
I've got to really go out there and absolutely just rack my training and bury myself into the ground, and then I'll feel
avoid an injury. And
yeah.
Right.
That's a ton of fun.
Right.
And it can be anything else. The golfer who doesn't enjoy the day if he doesn't shoot 80.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
On this amazing, beautiful golf course, beautiful backdrop.
With friends. For 5 hours or 4 hours plus an hour of drinking.
And leaves frustrated because they haven't gotten the score.
Right.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that for them, but I love what you're pointing to.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. And so the challenge there is that, we've somehow decided that there's got to be all this work effort around it, when it could be that the thing that really lights us up, that's important, is the thing that, we're overlooking in an effort to put workman-like activity around it. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, what's coming to me is how I work with the entrepreneurs I work with, which is showing them just that it can be fun. And in fact, not only can it be fun, it's going to work a lot better when it is. Because somehow, and I don't quite know how to describe it, but you're tapping into an energy that's full of abundance and creativity and flow and ease. The best ideas come. You don't have to try everything out on the planet because you know the one that's going to work. You just naturally know because you're tapped into that flow. You know, it's called all different chi, you know, it's called all different kinds of things throughout all different kinds of.
Right. I'm thinking too about some of these themes around, shedding extraneous sort of noise in an effort to focus on one or two things that really light us up. And in that effort, then I could say, if you want to go out on the driving range and practice hitting 7-irons for an hour, right? Or take a lesson in golf from an expert, or just, spend time on the putting green, on the practice putting green, putting, 50 balls into a cup. And it's because it's absolutely dreamy for you to do that. That's a win.
Right.
If somehow I'm doing that because I have to, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I have to make a job out of my leisure activity.
Almost like I have to perform on the course so that I show up for the guys that I'm with, so I don't look like an idiot. So da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's all about sort of performance and rating. And is that where you're headed?
Maybe. I think dudes have a harder time with this, that it has to, there is the, beating of the chest piece of this.
Okay.
And I also think though that sometimes when you're loosest and you're just out there enjoying the moment on the golf course, on the bicycle, in your running shoes,
in the dance studio,
right. That's a win. And you probably have a great day and you have a great time score, whatever the measurement is that you end up looking at the end of the event.
Yeah. The other thing that's coming to me is a quote that I love, and it says, a happy life is just a string of happy moments. And most people are too busy looking for the happy life that they miss the happy moments. And so you can go through a whole day and talk about all the things that went wrong and this, that, and the other, and I didn't score well and I didn't do this. And you can take that same exact experience, same person, everything, and come out and say, oh my God, it was beautiful out there. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. I had the luxury of playing golf. I could feel this. I don't play golf, by the way. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but you get it. It doesn't matter. In fact, I was thinking when you were saying you can go, whatever you said, hit on the putting green or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's what you see while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Are you, is it glass half full? Is it glass half empty? Where can you point your brain? Where can you look to see what's right in front of you and what's the beauty around you? Because those are two different experiences. I shot like shit. I couldn't do great versus it was an amazing day. I was lucky to be out there. I wasn't in the office. It was awesome.
Yeah. And to stick with that analogy, I can think of how many times when I was golfing in a more regular way, it was part of my life, where I could say, boy, I didn't play well, but boy, was it beautiful out there. The flowers they planted on the course were phenomenal. You played down along the lake for a while. There were some good jokes. Hey, so-and-so that I was playing with, he did this and we all laughed. We smoked cigars and, that was an awesome 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking how to look at this through the eyes of a child, of a beautiful ballerina dancer. I don't know what kind of dance she does, but just that beauty that comes out of expressing yourself, how to look at that experience through those eyes. What does that offer? I'm trying to think of a takeaway as we're talking about it, because it's like, I'm curious. It's like, what do those eyes see? Our adult eyes sometimes get critical and they get argumentative and they see the glass half empty versus half full. She's not looking for any of that. She just sees what's right in front of her. She's expressing herself. She's doing it. She's having a great time. How can we do more of that? Is that why we're here, or is it to build our bank account? I'm not sure. And it could be both. That's fine too. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but
there is no wrong answer there. It's just a perspective shift.
Right.
I think that's where this ends up, Catherine, in some ways is, when you're on the golf course, you may be paired up, two of you, if you're playing in a foursome, or against two of you in a friendly game with some betting, or something like that. And so there is some of that that's driven so that you keep score, because people, want to do that. They want to make a contest out of it. But at the end of the day, when the game is over, okay, it's over. Either if you win $20, the rule is you have to buy the drinks anyway. So you go home
Yeah.
with no extra money in your pocket, and vice versa. If you lose, someone's buying drinks for you. That's a lot more fun in some ways than anything. As a result, that's the best part of it. Mm-hmm. So, I don't want to say that having a contest is a bad thing. It's not.
No,
It's
not
just-
at all.
It's
Yeah,
not the
absolutely.
only thing.
Yeah. And so I guess where I went with that, I love that you went there because it's not one to say that, oh, we shouldn't focus on that or whatever. Of course, and it's super fun. It drives people. That's great.
Yeah.
I guess it's from the perspective of that's the external validation I need in order to feel better or to feel okay or to feel good. In other words, if I win, I feel good. If I lose, I don't,
All right. So let me jump in here. I'm going to totally hijack this. When
Go
you
for it.
ran your first marathon,
Yeah.
how was that an expression of you?
Oh, it pulled everything together in one, I say moment. It was a 4-hour moment, but it was, how do I maximize what the training, the mindset, what this body has done, can do, and everything to reach the goal I've set out for myself.
In front of X amount of people that were all running with you.
Yep,
Right?
absolutely.
And it even gets down to important as to what you wore. Like, did I wear a cool running outfit or did I show up in like a crappy one? I mean, all
Yeah.
that's those things that you chose were on purpose.
Right, right. And they were for a goal. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I didn't, I guess that's it. That's just, if I knew I didn't reach that goal, I would be okay. And I was still going to go for that goal. And I had a moment at mile 23 where I had a choice. I sent my running partner on and I looked down at my watch and I went, holy shit, I can still make this. Because I wanted to make it under 4 hours. And I was like, that's it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, I had to keep choosing because those last miles are like, whew. But that was the choice,
And what do you remember about that day?
Oh gosh, I remember that moment. I
Yeah.
remember, I'm gonna be honest, how bad I felt when I finished. I mean, I felt
Everybody does, especially your
right?
first one, right? It's like,
I remember everything about that day. I remember every bit about the journey. I remember him walking me through all these different points in the race because he'd run them before. I remember the people. I remember finishing. I remember how I felt after. I remember the crowd I had of family and friends that were there. Mm-hmm. I remember it all.
It's all journey-esque, though. And that's why I guess you got there. And I was curious where you were going to go with this. And none of it was really about, I did it in 3 hours, 56 minutes, and 12 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that was part, but you're right. That was part of it. I love that you're pointing to that. That was part of it.
Yeah.
And there was all the rest of it. So had that been different, that end result been different, there would have still been all the rest of it that were amazing.
So then I'm going to jump in here as we wind this in. If you're ready, are you ready to wind this one?
I think I am.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good.
'cause
And I love where
like-
you're going because it's,
Yeah, you're smiling and animated. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
this is a good spot to finish on the top.
yeah.
So I'm going to say as a takeaway here that think about the things that we do as adults that are sort of our other thing, right? It's not work, right? It's our leisure
Okay.
thing. It's our hobby. It's whatever. And remind ourselves when we're doing it, how this is an expression of us, an authentic expression of us.
Oh, Joe, I love that.
Not bad, huh?
I love it. Where did that come from?
I have no idea. We'll have to cut this out of the YouTube video too, because we don't want people to see my brainstorm. So, yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I like that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
not sure I can top that takeaway, but I'm with you.
Okay.
Actually, I think that's it.
We're in
yeah.
agreement. So for everyone who's joining us on this conversation, that's what we're asking of you.
Yeah. What do you do and how can you look at what you do as an expression of who you are?
Authentic expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not somebody else's idea of who you are. It's your moment. You're in it.
And you know what those are and when that happens. You're totally connected. It's a feeling. It's
All right.
I
Cool.
dig it.
All right. Hey, Catherine, where do they find us?
We are at what'sherenowkid.com.
What'sherenowkid.com. It gets better every time you say it.
I know, doesn't it? It's just cool.
And I'm Joe Shum. I'm a success coach with Soul Patch Hippo. Be big, be cool, be hippo.
And I'm Catherine Sable. I am a coach as well, and I inspire entrepreneurs to do epic shit.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. The next episode, we're going to cover the idea that cool things happen to us in our everyday lives and not to so quickly discard them looking for the next cool thing.
See how it goes?
Yep. Hey, welcome to another episode of What's Here Now, Kid?
Where we take the wild and off. See, I fucked it up.
Let's use that one. That's the one I want to use. That's perfect.